You know, with the passing of every great athlete, discussion really starts about who's the best of all time, be it a baseball player, hockey player, football player, boxer. Now, the unfortunate passing of Marvin Hagler in recent days has brought up that old debate, who is the greatest middleweight fighter of all time. Now, we have to look at this with an objective perspective. In his prime, Marvin Hagler was a tremendous fighter, dominated the 1970s and 1980s, lost a controversial decision to Sugar Ray Leonard, which stopped him, and he fought, some of the top fighters of his era, including Duran and Hearns, came out victorious. But is he the greatest middleweight of all time? Well, the question can be debated from now till the end of time, but all I know is this. Where Sugar Ray Robinson was a dominant middleweight for a number of years, and his South American successor, Carlos Monzon, which is a very underrated fighter, the kind of the Mike Tyson of South America, dominated the middleweights for a number of years, undefeated as champion. It makes you wonder. You see, Hagler was a product of what he called the title chase. Coming out of Philadelphia, he had to fight all the top contenders in the States. But unfortunately, when he won the title, he was a little bit past his prime. We saw him draw with Antiformo, the then middleweight champion, in a controversial 15-round fight. He did defeat Alan Minter for the title, but it was mostly, again, on cuts. And Hagler's best era, his prime era, was in the late 1970s. And when he drew with Antiformo, it brought into question, yes, he will be champion, but maybe he's a little bit past his peak. Now, Sugar Ray Robinson at 147 was the greatest welterweight of all time, no doubt. But Robinson at 160 was fighting these middleweights, a whole bunch of top contenders in what they call the second golden era of boxing in the States. Now, if you put Monzon against Hagler in their prime, Monzon would probably win on points. You put Robinson against Hagler in their prime, let's say Robinson at 152 and Hagler at 156. I'm going to take Sugar Ray Robinson because Sugar Ray Robinson, the stick and move that he couldn't really work with Sugar Ray Leonard, he always had trouble with stick and movers. The only reason why he knocked out Hearns because he had a harder power shot, and of course Hearns would keep his hands down. Now, that's just a basic opinion. I've been covering sports for 38 years, covering boxing over those 4 decades. I saw Hagler on his rise up when I wasn't a journalist, but I covered him as a journalist when he was champion. And all I can say is that I'm very fortunate to say that Hagler revitalized the middleweight championship because after Monzon, quit, there was kind of 2 or 3 years where these non-champions, Hugo Coro and Minter and Antiformo, were in the mix. And, Hagler was the uncrowned champion. I'm glad he won the title. But to put him in the same category, let's put this in perspective, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Frazier fought Foreman and Ali. Did he win any of those fights? No. He was very good. Some people say the 15-round fight in 71, Ali won. He won on points, but did he really win? Was he so dominant that he could say he's the greatest of all time? The first Ali Frazier fight was a pick'em for certain people because Ali was slightly out of shape and he won a lot of rounds he was not given on the scorecards. Anyway, But all I'm saying, there's nothing mad for Hagler fans to say that maybe Monzon and even Bernard Hopkins as well was better than Hagler. Because Hagler had one style of fighting. Robinson could fight all different ways, and Monzon, holy freaks, there were some tough nuts that Monzon fought through the years, and he fought some death matches. Hagler never fought somebody that literally was out to kill him. They were out to survive. Like I said, the shoe wasn't on the other foot. But for me, like I said, Hagler, top 3 middleweight of all time. And if you would say this, there's a big drop between those 4, Bernard Hopkins, and the other levels. Like I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, everything's right at 7. Hagler's a 9, Monzon a 9.3, and Sugar Ray is like a 9.6. But a welterweight, he's a 10. So welterweight, middleweight, Robinson, greatest fighter of all time, better than Ali, better than everybody else, in my basic opinion. So tell us what you think. Like, comment, or subscribe as always. If you think I'm full of shit, tell me. If you agree, tell me. Like I said, it's just an opinion, isn't it? Have a good day. Bye.